Hey everyone, I'm Kate from Black Cat Books, and this is my first YouTube video. I wanted to start my channel off by kind of running through all of the different cat books that I have, since they are the namesake of my channel. So the first book I have is a French book. I don't read French. I don't speak French. I just thought it was really cool. It's The Grand Odyssey of Cats. It's basically a coffee table book that has a bunch of images of cats. I think it's this couple who traveled around the world and took pictures of cats everywhere they went. And this is kind of the compilation of all the different images that they took. I like this angry cat, and then this guy. They travel to places like Morocco, Japan, we went from Mongolia. I think this one might be my favorite one, partly because it's a little tuxie baby. Definitely more of a coffee table book, so it's not like a novel or anything. I don't remember how I heard of this. I think I might have just seen it online and ordered it, I might have seen it on Facebook or something and ordered it. But it's a French publisher. But yeah, it's just a really fun, I love to travel, I love cats, so it's just a really fun combination of those two interests. And this might be just a European thing, the only goofy thing is that, when you have it laying flat, I don't know if you can see that, there we go. No, yeah, there we go. It looks like it's upside down, so that's the only goofy thing. Next kind of coffee table book is Cats and Books. I think we got this in a stocking, or it's a gift or something. And it's just a bunch of cats and books and bookshelves, and this guy standing on your book, and then this little guy in the bookcases. And so it's just super cute, super fun. Little book. And then there's this one that's Cats Are Weird. I think my brother-in-law got this for us. But it's just a bunch of little comics showing the oddities of cats. I think this one is one of my favorites. It's a cat chasing a fly and inevitably missing. My cats are pretty good hunters, and they like moth snacks in particular. This one is another favorite. And my cats frequently end up doing the same thing, where they are all tangled in the bottom of a chair playing with the mouse. The next one is called Men and Cats. I think I got this from my husband. And it's just men with their cats, being friends with their cats, and there's, just a bunch of dudes hanging out with their cats, and yeah, it's fun. The next couple books that I have are more kids books. My mom told me I still had a couple boxes of books at my parents' house, and I went, and they were all my kids picture books. So one of the ones that was there is James Herriot's Treasury for Children. My grandparents gave me so many different books by him, and he was a vet, I think in Yorkshire, somewhere in England. And there's actually I think a PBS show now of it. And, there's a bunch of stories with cats, and this edition is really old. And there's, horses, but I think he started writing up his stories in 1984, but there's always like puppies and kittens, and he was a farm vet too, so he would do like cows and horses and all this other stuff, but they're just stories about his life as a vet in rural England, and I kind of grew up reading them. This one might be the only one that I have that's illustrated, but definitely something I read a lot as a kid. And then the other one that I have is The Tale of Martha B. Rabbit by Shirley Barber. This is definitely a kid's book, but it's about this rabbit who makes jam. She loves to cook, and it's just, the illustrations are just so cute. And rats came one day, and it says, I don't know if the camera will zoom in, but it says stolen goods on the little chest that they're taking out of her house. And so she finds a little kitty roommate, and they team up and live together and bake together and work together, and she doesn't have to worry about rats in her house anymore. That was another one that was in the box of kids books that my mom had for me. And then this one, this might be dating myself a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember the that video. It came out, it was a YouTube video from probably 2010 maybe, and it was called Kittens Inspired by Kittens. And I showed this to some friends, and they got it for me for my birthday. So I still have it, because of course I would. But the video was it was a little girl narrating all of the different cats in this book. I think it's still online somewhere. She would go through, and if they were making a silly face, they would be like, ah, ah. And then this one was a big, ah! So it just, has stuck around since then. And then the last kind of larger format book that I have in one of my favorite comics that used to be in the paper, the Sunday comics, is Get Fuzzy. I have several, but this is just the one that I thought was the cutest. So this is just a collection of all the different comics, and it's Rob, on the other hand, and he owns Satchel, who is the dog, and Bucky, who is the cat. And Bucky gets Satchel in trouble all the time. Bucky is constantly scheming and trying to make movies and trying to make a quick buck, but he's not very good at it. And he's very spicy. He only has one tooth. He's only got one fang. Satchel is a good boy and is always pretty anxious about Bucky's scheming. And Rob is their human and just kind of wrangles the two of them and keeps them in line as much as you can keep cats in line. But it always just makes me laugh. I have several different, I have several different collections of these. I just kind of grabbed one of them. I have a few novels that have books in that, or books, a few novels that have cats in them. I'm going to kind of pair them up. The first one is Book 2, In the Hands of the Goddess of the Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamara Pierce. This is the second book. In the first book, Alana and her twin, Tom, are sent to, she's sent off to magic school, and he is sent off to be a knight, and she doesn't want to go to magic school, and he does, and she wants to be a knight, and he does not. So they switch places. And so, like, adventures ensue. In the second book, she becomes a squire. In the first one, she's a page, and that's like 3 or 4 years or something. And then the squire is also like 3 or 4 years before she becomes a knight. In the second book, she's on a trip, I think, coming back after like summer break or something like that. She's traveling, and she is favored by one of the goddesses in this world, and on her journey back, she's taking shelter in some trees, and this cat wanders in, and she like talks to the goddess a little bit, and then the goddess gives her this cat, but he's really a constellation. So he is with her throughout the rest of the series. These still are some of my favorite books. The next one that is set in the same world is her Becca Cooper series. This is the first book, Terrier, and this is set, I think, 200 years before the Alana series, and it follows Becca Cooper, and she is the ancestor of one of the characters in the Song of the Lioness Quartet. This follows her, and is this the right side? Yeah, there we go. So she has the cat, and it turns out it is the same cat that is the constellation, and that who is given to Alana in her series. This one follows Becca Cooper, and she is part of the City Watch. They're called the Provost Dogs, but they're like a branch of like the City Watch, and they help keep the peace, they're kind of like the police, but not policey. So they break up riots and solve crimes and all this sort of stuff. And so it's her journey from like the start of her, like from when she joins the Guard, and then the next 2 books are like different cases and things and it's a journal style, so it's her writing, like keeping a journal of all of the different work that she's doing, and all the experiences that she's having. So, again, one of my favorites from Tamara Pierce. So the next book is Sabriel. This was published in 1995, so most of you are probably familiar with it. But this is about a young woman named Sabriel, and she is from a place called the Old Kingdom, and at the start of the book, she's at a place called Wyverley College, and she is there like getting an education, and it's close enough to the border with the Old Kingdom where there's like magic and stuff that strange things happen, and something strange happens, and she goes north. She journeys to like her family's ancestral home and get some answers. So one of the characters in here that helps her along the way is a character named Mogget, and he is a cat, and he is bound in service to her family, because he's a demon. I hope that's not a spoiler, but it's been out for 20 years, 25 years, so I don't think it's a spoiler. So we follow Sabriel on her journey back home, and her father is the person, and he helps, like his job is to go around sealing demons and the dead, maybe not demons. He goes and seals the dead back in like the underworld. She realizes there's something like he's missing, and so she goes off to help him and everything. This is probably a terrible description. It's been a really long time since I've read this, but it is one of my faves. But yeah, there's Mogget the cat in this one. And then the final book is Sorcery of Thorns. This one reminded me a little bit of Sabriel, partly because there's another white cat who is like a demon's animal form. So this is about a girl named Elizabeth, and she works in a library, and the books there are not just your average books. They are magic books, they're grimoires, and she helps kind of maintain them like physically, but then also if the grimoires go crazy, they can hurt people and kill people, and so she helps keep them under control. And she's training to do this, and then stuff happens, and she meets a magician. Is he a magician? Is that what they're called? Sorcerer. A sorcerer. Sorcery of Thorns, right? Something happens, and she gets blamed for it, so she escapes. Or gets taken with the sorcerer who came. And sorcerers are considered bad by librarians because they they open the grimoires and can like affect their demeanor. But all sorcerers get their magic from like a family demon, and it's like they make a pact with this demon. Nathaniel is the sorcerer, and his demon's name is Silas, and Silas's animal form is a cat, a white cat. So kind of in that sense it reminded me a little bit of Mogget, because Mogget is also a white cat. They're very similar. But yeah, I enjoyed it. If you like books and you like cats and magic, it's a great read. Alright, so that was the last book with cats in it that I have. And last but not least, I wanted to introduce the 3 namesakes of the channel. So all 3 of the cats are named after characters from the Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries TV show. I know it's a book series as well, but I've only read one of them. Bert and Cess are brothers. They're littermates. And they're named after Albert Johnson and Cecil Yates, who are like the taxi driver guys. Their names fit very well to their personalities, because Cess is the consummate gentleman and like way more level-headed in the show, and then Bert is he's like ready to throw hands all the time, and he's the little more hot-headed one, which is pretty accurate. I don't know that my Bert is like ready to throw hands, but he's ready to tussle pretty often. And then all 3 are thieves. Bert steals anything that's a carb, so bread, oatmeal, chips, treat bags, anything in a bag, pretty much. Cess likes to steal game pieces off of board games, and then Hugh steals my hair ties. There's a Cecil man! Hi! Alright, this is Cecil. Up until a week ago, I would have said that he is the consummate gentleman, but lately, In like the last week or so, he's been bullying me out of my seat on the couch. He likes to chase the mouse cursor and chew on cables. And he's a very aggressive snuggler. Alright, this is Bert. His only thoughts are intrusive thoughts, but he's ultimately a big cuddle bug. He just likes to be where his people are. He plays fetch and does some tricks. He's actually a pretty smart kitty. Bert's current obsession is dismantling the humidifier, whether it's full or not. So, that's been fun. This is Hugh. He's my little bush baby. I pulled him out of a bush at work. And honestly, he's probably the smartest of all three of my cats. His latest trick is playing hide and seek with his toys, where he hides the toy under a piece of furniture. Really, he just loses it. And then he leads us to it so he can find it and throw it for him, and then repeats the whole process when he inevitably loses it under a piece of furniture again. He's a huge snuggle bug, and my spicy little black bean. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you all in the next one.